Welcome aboard to the 2024 Toyota Crown Limited. Let me show you guys around. The 2024 Toyota Crown marks the return of the nameplate to the US for the first time in 51 years. It replaces the outgoing Avalon, taking on a taller ride height while preserving the agility of a sedan. For $50,000, you get a 2.5-liter turbo four-cylinder making 184 horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque. But with the hybrid system, which consists of 2 electric motors and a nickel-metal hydride battery, the net output is actually 236 horsepower. This powertrain is connected to a continuously variable transmission, or a CVT. However, this isn't the only powertrain option. If you opt for the $54,000 Platinum trim, you get Toyota's Hybrid Max powertrain, which has a 2.4-liter turbo four-cylinder with 264 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque on its own. The combined net horsepower gets increased to 340 horsepower with the hybrid motors, and you even get a 6-speed automatic transmission. Let's start with the front end of the Toyota Crown. I really like how it's got a really thin light bar connecting the 2 daytime running lights and LED turn signals together. I also really like how there's a giant grille on the bottom. It definitely breaks it up quite a bit in a very nice way. Now, working our way down the side, this is definitely my favorite angle of this Toyota Crown because it has such a smooth flowing body line. I love how this trim makes its way past the window and makes its way further down to the trunk over here. Now, this may fool you. This is not a full-fledged liftgate, but rather it's just a typical trunk. It ends right about right here. But I do love the way this side profile looks in general. It's very clean, it's very understated, and it feels like something higher end, like the Toyota Crown should be. These massive 21-inch wheels are absolutely fantastic as well. They're riding on some nice Michelin rubber, and even though the rubber is a little bit thinner, it's still incredibly comfortable to drive. It feels as if it were actually a Lexus. And seeing as this is only $50,000 with decent packaging and equipment, it's a pretty decent package overall. Working our way back to the back again, we have these lovely LED turn signals and taillights, which are connected with this really cool light bar. I also like how Crown is spelled out across the back. It's very clean and classy. So the exterior of the Toyota Crown is quite nice, but let's use our keyless entry, which can be activated with this, and we can access the interior of the car, which features a lot of features on its own as well. But let's be honest, before we take a look at the interior of the Crown, we have to open up the fully panoramic sunroof to let in all of that lovely, lovely light into this Toyota Crown. The interior is quite nice, and it's very typical for a Toyota. This leather-wrapped steering wheel feels incredible in the hand, and it feels great to turn with nice little 9-3 grips right over here. The steering wheel controls are incredibly easy to use, and it controls this fully digital display, which is incredibly customizable. You can set so many different things. You can change your driver assist systems, and you can even change how the display looks too. I also really like how your volume controls are easily accessed right here, and you even have back and next buttons, and you can even change your mode of music right here. And the horn sounds pretty good too. I also like your automatic headlight buttons right over here. You can change your dash lighting right here. Very easy to use. Reset your ODO there. This is your windshield de-icer. Over here you have your turn signals, which are fantastic. Very typical for a Toyota with your built-in headlight controls. Over here you got your windshield wiper controls. You push down instead of up, which again takes a getting used to. Over here you have your start-stop button. And over here is this star of the show, the 12.3-inch infotainment system. This features wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Sirius XM, and it's got this nice little volume dial, which is infinitely adjustable. It's very nice and very easy to use. Overall, this infotainment system is extremely clean with the usage. It's very fluid and very easy to use while on the road. Down here are your climate controls. I love how they're all physical. You have fully heated and ventilated seats, which is incredible at this price point. You have fully physical temperature controls here too. It's a little bit difficult to jump from low to high on those autumn days, but when you're doing it on the road, it's very easy to press the buttons while not looking at them. Over here is your heated steering wheel controls, because yes, we do have a fully heated steering wheel, which is awesome. This is a little mode called S-Flow, which, as you can see, directs air to only the occupied front seats. A very cool feature. Sync buttons there, air conditioning button, recirc, all of that. Typical climate controls. But my favorite part down here is your wireless charger. You can see that Toyota have decided to make it a fully vertical charger with these little holders. These will detect if a phone is in place and lock it in there. The thing I really like about this is for our iPhones that have protruding rear cameras, we can actually take advantage of the wireless charging, since the camera sits proud of this vertical charger, and there's even more room to put another phone in there if you like. Over here we have 2 USB Type-C ports for even more charging. We have some extra storage here, and we have 2 very strategically placed cup holders which hold my Starbucks cup perfectly in there. Here we have your shifter for your eCVT transmission. Now, the eCVT is definitely a little controversial, but you can definitely make it drive like an automatic depending on which drive mode you put your vehicle into. If you push up, it'll activate sport mode in your Crown, push back down for normal, and this will activate your eco mode, which is very, very nice. I like how there's a customizable mode. The button itself also feels very premium and high-end. You can turn traction control off, activate your electromechanical e-brake, and there's even your full EV mode. You press that, and then you can change that as well. However, right now it is unavailable because our hybrid battery is low. So you can drive it as a gas car and as an EV if you want as well. However, you can see, because it's a hybrid, we have 600 miles of range. Now that is pretty impressive. We also have this little sensor here which will detect if you're not paying attention to the road, which is very innovative. This car has a ton of safety features, such as a 360-degree camera. We have a ton of different modes right over here. I don't even know what half of these mean, but in other words, this vehicle is incredibly customizable and safe to drive. I also really like these beautiful seats. They're awesome leather seats. They're fully perforated, of course, heated, ventilated, and power. And they just got this lovely black leather with this gold piping on it. We also have matching gold trim over here too. It looks very nice and really does the trick. The center console is also really cool. You can open it from either the passenger side or the driver's side. And you can see we have this little shelf in here, but we have tons of space inside of there. So much room for you to put all of your valuables. Up here, we got a semi-frameless mirror. We have your sun visors, which have a little convenience light right over there. Of course, they are fully extendable. You have all of your lighting controls up here, which we saw a little bit earlier in this clip. And of course, we have your grab handles. Not to mention, we can't forget about the fully memory seats, because yes, at this price point, you should get memory seats on a Toyota. Power folding mirror controls are right here. And down here, you've got a massive bottle pocket that can hold a full-size water bottle. It's got a little cutoff for it, which I really like. But yeah, that's about it for the front seat of this lovely Toyota Crown. Let's take a look at the back seat of the Toyota Crown, where you have a seriously impressive amount of legroom, with this seat being in my default driving position and quite a bit of headroom. You can see that Toyota actually engineered this panoramic sunroof here to allow for a bit of a tunneling. So when your head is here, you do have a lot of headroom. Up here, we also have nice convenience lights, which are full LED for maximum efficiency. We also have your own heated seats for the outboard seats in the back, which I really appreciate. Nice big door pockets, your own AC vents and Type-C ports, which is really nice. And your own bottle pocket, which, as you can see, can fully hold a cup of coffee. But that's not the only cup holder in the vehicle. We also have this nice armrest with a little door to access even more cup holders. Let's see how well that fits the Starbucks coffee cup. You can see it fits it pretty well, although it would be a little unstable on a long drive. So this is definitely the place to put it. But overall, nice little place to be. And seeing as the Crown replaced the Avalon, this definitely takes the cake as being a luxurious sedan in the back, especially with that sloped back. I also really like these back seats. You can see they have these little airplane reminiscent headrests. Although they don't adjust like on an actual airplane, I like that they gave you a little bit of bolsters on the headrest, especially if you are on a long drive. You can just rest your head back and relax back here. I could spend hours in the back of this Toyota Crown, especially with this beautiful panoramic sunroof. But if we fold these seats down, we can go to the back tailgate area where you have a fully powered trunk. And what's really nice about this trunk is it's completely positionable in whichever way you put it. So I can put it down here and it stays, or I can put it up here and it stays. That is especially helpful if you're on an incline. Now, jumping into the trunk, we can see we have quite a bit of space, definitely rivaling that of the Camry. You can see there's quite a bit of storage back here. There's not a whole lot of storage pockets necessarily, but there are these little pull tabs. The only thing that's a little annoying is you have to hold this while folding the seat down. That part is a little annoying, but we do have this nice cargo protector, and we even have a false floor, which gives you a space saver spare wheel. That's pretty neat, especially considering a lot of these hybrid vehicles don't come with that nowadays, especially from the Europeans. So props to Toyota for making a full hybrid and still keeping the space saver spare wheel. But let's go ahead and close this and discuss the driving impressions of the Toyota Crown. To operate the gear shift in your Toyota Crown, make sure your foot's on the brake. Go left and down for drive, left and up for reverse, push for park, left for neutral, left and down for drive again, and down if you want to release the B mode. Now, what is the B mode? The B mode actually allows you to drive with regenerative braking since this is a hybrid. Okay, what is the Toyota Crown like to drive? Well, first of all, I do want to describe the steering feel. The steering is actually, it has a bit of a weighted feel to it, which is quite surprising for a Toyota. A little bit more than something like the Grand Highlander that I checked out recently. So that is definitely really nice. The steering rivals that of a luxury car. Now, from my experience, switching the drive mode, it doesn't appear to change the input of the steering, which is a good thing in my opinion, because the drive feel is already pretty good as it is. It feels very high-end, and it rivals that of something like a Mercedes or a BMW, let alone a Lexus. Now, the interesting thing about driving this vehicle is, yes, it's a hybrid. You can put it in EV mode when there's enough charge in the hybrid battery, but to be fair, you really don't notice it all that much. It feels like when the car shuts off as part of the automatic start-stop, which, by the way, you obviously can't turn off on this Crown, but it's honestly not that noticeable. Having the instant torque is actually really nice. And again, you get that combined system output of 236 horsepower. The engine on its own only has 184, so it's pretty nice that you get that extra power from the hybrid motor. Now, down here, I really like, if you can see it, how it has a floor-mounted pedal. You basically get linear acceleration, which is nice. The power band is fantastic, and the Toyota Crown really does have a lot of get up and go. I also really like how you can have your gauge cluster and your speedometer next to each other, which on a lot of new cars, you just don't get anymore. So I really appreciate that. You can configure this side so you can have either a tachometer or a charge meter, which is really nice. A lot of hybrids don't let you do that. So I really got to give props to Toyota for that. And that, in my opinion, really improves the driving experience. One thing that's a little annoying is it's a little bit difficult to enable that cruise control because you have a bunch of safety systems in place preventing you from basically doing anything. I especially don't like how the radar sensor tells you that you're not paying attention to the road, especially when I'm looking off to the side for a split second to adjust something such as the heated seats. But again, the fact that they're physical means there's gonna be a lot less time taking my eyes off the road. That part I like. The brake feels also really good. The ride's overall really smooth on the highway. But that is my overall opinion on the driving experience of the Toyota Crown. The Toyota Crown is pretty solid, and I would recommend this as your next sedan / crossover. But what do you guys think of the Toyota Crown? Be sure to let me know, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.